While installing these running boards, I decided to add a courtesy light to the bottom side of the running board so that when you hit the unlock key, it'll light up the outside of the car underneath as you're walking up to it. My wife is always complaining about the garage being too dark. She leaves very early in the morning, and this will give her, she can just hit the unlock and it'll light up right where she's got to go. She wants to turn on the light, open the door, go back and turn off the light because she's afraid of tripping something, because I'm always down here working. I just wanted to explain a couple of things about the LEDs. They've been advancing pretty rapidly if you've kept up on it. I just wanted to point out the differences in the LEDs and how to install it so that it stays and looks good also. As you can see, this top LED right here is the older style. These are the 50/50 watertight. It's got a silicone on it. You can see the LEDs are about ½ an inch apart right here, and they work good. They shut off some good light, but the new ones are out now, and they're called the 50/54, and they tripled the LED count. So now you have 3 LEDs per inch instead of only 1, plus they have a third more light output than the other 50/50s, and these are waterproof. They're in the silicone. They got the sticky on the back. And let me tell you, they are bright. They are really bright. Okay? So, one of the things that, for the installation, the first thing you want to have is some 3M primer. And this preps the surface for the sticky to really stick to it. I think it's some kind of little etching. I'm not really sure. It doesn't harm anything, but it definitely makes a difference on how and you could buy this on Amazon or eBay. A pint can costs you like $10, and I just happen to have the little brush bottle and the can, so I just keep refilling this. And what you'll want to do is, I'm going to show you the running board over here. You want to paint where you're going to have your LED strip. Let it dry, and then you're going to place your LED strip down. And what I did was I pressed it down in, and I put the edge right up against the edge right here on that right there, and used that as a guide so it was nice and straight. After that's down, I have found that the LEDs, because they have this sticky coating on them and the silicone coating on them, road dirt tends to stick to them. And also the edges on them, even though they're quote-unquote watertight, I found instances where the salt and moisture just eaten through the bottom, I guess, where the board is exposed, and cause corrosion in the middle of the strip. So what I've developed is a system of taking Gorilla Clear tape, and I'm using an X-Acto knife. This is 2-inch. I'm cutting in half with an X-Acto knife, so you can see I can pull off 1-inch wide strips. And then I take that and I cover, it's maybe hard to see, but I cover the strip with the Gorilla tape. And I use these right here to press down into the corner to lock it down in. It's a little hard. You have to tuck this side into here first while keeping this up in the air and getting it down, and then using this as a sweep to bring it over into the, and then I silicone the end, and then I put another piece of tape all the way out, so this is totally watertight. Over here on this end, where the wire is, I'm going to be putting some wire loom. I'll be taping up so it's watertight, and that's already been siliconed down underneath here. You can't really see it, but it's all filled with silicone, so there's no way for, it's also got a shrink tube. The shrink tube is filled with silicone, and underneath the tape, that was all blobbed with silicone right before the tape went down. So the chance of any water getting into there are going to be pretty nil. Plus the wire loom is going to come right up to here, and it's going to go underneath the car about 6 or 7 inches, and I'll show you where I'm going to be entering the car. And it's going to be controlled by the dome light, and basically it's one of the things that I forgot to mention about putting down the the LEDs is after you put them down, you want to heat them gently to about 90-95 degrees with a hot air gun or a hair dryer. You want to get them nice and warm. That really locks the tape down in, okay? And they're going to be controlled by the dome light through a relay. And the relay will have the 12 volts going out to the lights, and the dome, whenever the dome comes on, it'll trip and it'll light up. Of course, you're going to need to do it, you're going to need some wire stripper, solder. You need a little solder gun. I use little shrink tubes to join the wire together. And that's about it. I'll have the installation on how to get into the car and how to wire it following this right here. For those of you who are adding courtesy lights to the underside of the running board, I just wanted to show how we've waterproofed it a little bit further. I pointed out before we had the clear Gorilla tape protected on top of it. It stays pretty clean. I've already done this before. The wiring, as you can see, we have about 2 inches of clear silicone right here, and then we have wire loom, which is wired, the electrical tape watertight there all the way up. So this is watertight. We drilled a hole in here so it'll come out over here, and we have about a foot more where it's going to go about 3 to 4 inches out into the car, up through the frame, and then into the body, which I'll show you where that's coming in. So we wanted to keep that all watertight because that'll be exposed to splash and whatever coming up the road, because this is the front right here. So we just wanted to show how it's pretty important to waterproof this, and by doing these holes right here like this, instead of coming out over here, it would be drooping and prone to catching. We're only going to have about this much exposed, and it'll be right like that into the hole that's right there under the underbody. Alright, we're going to put the running board back on, and then we'll document coming up inside, and then we'll document the wiring itself. To get to the inside, you'll remove the plastic door sill and the inner kick panel. You pull the rug back right here, and right down over here you're going to drill yourself a hole. Start with a standard screw bit, and then I use a unit bit, and that line right there is as far as I went so I can see the whole line. That's the diameter of the wire loom, the black wire loom that I just showed you. So that's going to come in there, right into there, and then come right up along up into the rest of the car. And it's going to be tight, and I'll put silicone around it so it'll actually be waterproof and we won't get any moisture inside the car. And I'll show you where it comes in underneath. Running board's installed. The wiring is already up into the car. I'm going to show you how I did that right now. Come underneath right here, and you can see the wire comes out, comes through, goes right up into another one of those openings. There was no rubber plug here, but if there is, you can plug it, cut a hole, X in it, and shove it through. That's the underside. Inside, move the lighting around a little bit, make it show a little bit more, a little bit better if I can. See how the wire comes in right here, and we're just going to be able to take it, just fold it right along the edge right there. We're going to put some, fold along the edge, we're going to put some silicone right around right here to seal that, so that'll be watertight. And we lay the rug back down. You'll never even know it's there. To get the wire up through, what I did was I dropped a wire tie down into the hole, and then tape the end of the wire to it, and then just pulled everything up through. And it comes up very easy. You do need to narrow that down a little bit right here to get it through the hole initially, but once it comes through the hole, if you did it right the way I showed you on that mark, it'll be the same diameter and it'll just fit in there snugly. You want to keep everything as watertight as possible. The last step we're going to show you is wiring up to the dome circuit light, the dome circuit for the dome light, so it'll follow that. we're not actually going to go up to the dome light. We're going to tap into the wiring down under the dash. The electrical is done on the courtesy lights underneath the running board, and to power them up I already have a fuse piggybacked on running my other LEDs. Put the positive of the two running boards LED strips together to the fuse, and the ground I put to the dome sensor wire, which you can see right here, this wire that goes up into the gray wire right there. I just did a pigtail on it where you stiffen the end of the wire, put some solder on it, and stick it in alongside the existing wire. And that's it right there. And that's how she works. Follows the dome lights perfectly. When they go out, the light goes out. And my wife loves it already. Hope this helps people out that want to put a little flash on their mobile. And also you can put this on your car without the running board. It can be done to the underside edge and brought in through the same way. And you can have a courtesy light help your wife out at night. Any comments? Post them up there. Here's a long shot.